My main point of this video is I wanted to break down exactly how you can be able to just be virtual, wholesale land, make profit. What's up, guys? I'm back in the US. It's a crazy journey, man. It's a crazy journey so far. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm reaching out to some of these buyers that I got the deal in the contract, and so basically I'm trying to sell the deal. And you know, when it comes to like selling deals, there's like so many ways you can go about doing it. You have the ability to get something in the contract, have ownership by contract, and be able to market the deal to be able to make profit. That by itself is amazing. And a lot of you guys are probably thinking like, oh man, like, you know, you can't do it virtually, you know, it's hard to do it virtually. But I will say one thing: if you have the ability to be in your market, because it just really establishes, and plus you can go and talk to the seller in person. But I've already have experience in my market to the point where I can be able to do it from Houston. Like, I'm in Houston, and I was in Mexico like yesterday. And I was there and I was making calls, and I was like, holy shit. I was talking to this one dude, and he was telling me about how he's just been traveling for the last 2 years. That on its own is a goal that I'm trying to achieve. For me, I'm an ambitious guy, okay? So, you know, if I make like 10 grand, I want to make 20 grand. If I make 20 grand, I want to make 50 grand. And that's my problem all on its own. But for you guys who are just trying to, like, you're like, hey man, like 5K is cool. 5 to 10K a month on a consistent basis is cool. Bro, when you really think about it like that, you only need like 10 deals in 1 year to be able to like achieve that. Probably even less. Like, if you do 5 deals and you're cool with making 50 grand a year, you do 5 deals each, 10K each, you can be able to just like go wherever you want, travel where you want, live how you want to live. Because as long as you have a laptop, a phone, data, dude, I mean, the possibilities are insane. My only issue is I like to be stable, and I like to be in the zone basically. And I feel like when I'm like traveling too much, I'm not in the zone. So if you're interested in trying, or you're like trying to figure out a way for you to be able to, one, not have a boss, two, not be on a time schedule, right? You make your own schedule, you make your own time. 3, have flexibility in the location of where you're trying to be. I mean, you can be in the US, right? You can still be in the US. I could be in Miami right now. I can be in Cali right now. I can be in Colorado right now. So I can really like just move around and shift around all within the US and still operate within the US and make bread. I don't have to ask anybody to take off. I don't have to, you know, worry about, what's my boss gonna say, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, obviously, like, there's a discipline that comes with it, but it's very possible to be able to actually achieve that. And I want to walk you through exactly how you can be able to achieve that, because it took me maybe like 4 or 5 years of solid grind work for me to actually just, like, I went to Mexico yesterday, or I booked the trip 2 weeks ago to go to Mexico, and then my trip got canceled, it got extended, and I didn't even front. Like, it was like, that's whatever. Oh, another day here, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Imagine if I had a boss and like I had to worry about get back, or what they gonna say, or getting fired and all that shit. And this true freedom that can come with this path, this journey, you going down this path, this journey. I wish that I had me as a resource point when I was starting out, right? I mean, if you guys are like trying to do houses, I mean, it's kind of like the same structure, but with houses compared to land. But the only difference is that like land is like actually virtual, where you don't necessarily even have to meet the owner, you don't have to meet the buyers, you can tell them to go take a look at it. A lot of people are now trying to get into land, but not a lot of people are understanding exactly what it is and you know exactly the process of how you go about doing it. So first step that you want to do, the first and foremost step that you want to take, okay, if we're talking about you as a beginner, just you starting out with no knowledge, this is like a new ambition of yours. You're just like, oh my God, like I want to do this. All right, the first thing that you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to make a decision, right? You're gonna want to make a decision to stick through what you're trying to actually achieve, right? First thing you want to do, you make a goal. Okay, I want to make $10,000 wholesaling land. You make a goal, right? Once you make that goal, like you have to be so obsessed with actually achieving that result. And there's, because you have to realize that there's multiple ways to make money, especially when you come into America. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you can do so much other things, right? You can do Amazon FBA, you can do drop shipping, you can do e-commerce, like you can do so much more. But the thing is that you have to focus and you have to narrow down on one thing that you're trying to achieve. For the sake of this video, your one thing is you're trying to wholesale land. So you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna make a goal. My goal is to wholesale my first deal and make $10,000 within 6 months. Just give yourself 6 months, right? You can have it sooner. Give yourself 6 months, especially if you're beginning, because you have a whole bunch of things to learn. So you make a goal. So your first step is you make the goal. The second step is you commit to the goal. You commit to ignoring any other things that might come in between that, right? Or maybe like you start month 1, month 2, you haven't gotten the goal yet. You're like, you know what? This isn't for me. Let me go ahead and try Amazon FBA. Like, that's just dumb. Like, that's stupid. What you want to do is you want to stay focused and stay focused on that one path. Like no matter what, you don't want to deviate from that one path, right? So you make a goal, you commit to the goal, no matter what, no matter the obstacles, no matter the challenges, no matter how you feel inside about yourself, no matter how you feel, what other people are telling you, you become so overly committed that people actually think that you're crazy. Like people actually think that you're insane. So you have that commitment now. Once you have your commitment and you have your goal, the third step is to figure out how to achieve your goal, all right? And to be able to achieve your first $10,000 wholesaling land, you have to identify your market, get a list. Depending on your budget, skip trace the list or do a direct mail campaign. Answer the leads that come from your campaign, make offers, get a deal in the contract, find a buyer, close on the deal. Boom, that's 8 steps actually. Wow, that's quite a lot of steps, right? And so the reason why I was telling you to give yourself some time to be able to achieve this is because you have to know how to synchronize all of these 8 steps together, right? You have to be able to have this process where you can just be able to do it and you just know what to do. Like I was just on the phone with this seller and he was telling me, hey, what is the process? I made the offer and I think we might actually have a deal there. I don't know how much the profit is going to be yet, but I'm hoping it's 10 grand or more, right? So I made him an offer and he's like, well, hey, what is the process after I decide to accept your offer? Like, you have to know that process for you to be able to communicate that with the seller, instill trust in the seller to believe that you are the right person to handle whatever hurdle, whatever they're trying to achieve, right? That you have the ability to complete the mission. And sellers will test you like this, and you have to be knowledgeable to know how to respond to that. If you're just interested, I do have a course if you want to learn like the step and you just want to have that in your toolbox just to refresh your mind and stuff like that, check the link in the description. But you have to be knowledgeable to be able to actually make these steps happen. And the reason why you want to have a long period of time before you achieve this goal is because it takes time for you to learn and to be confident in all of the 8 steps. Because like when you really think about wholesaling, you have to think about it as from a business perspective. And for you to be able to be profitable, you have to understand your market and you have to target the correct people. I go over a little bit. I think in some of my other videos, I go over how to identify your market. But that's going to be a very important step. And I will always recommend you start in your backyard because it's a little bit easier. But if your backyard is very saturated and it's very competitive, the beautiful part is you can go on a secondary or third market that is still within your state, right? And the sellers are just going to be more comfortable with you, with working with you, because you are in the same state that they are. For some reason, they're just comfortable with that. You don't even have to be in the same county, right? As long as you're in the same states, they know. They're like, oh, okay, that's great, perfect, right? But if you're out of state, there might be a little bit of friction there depending on your experience. These are typically the 8 steps that you're going to want to take when you're trying to accomplish getting your deal. And the beautiful part about it is it can be very virtual. The first step, identifying your market, and the second step, getting your list, those 2 steps are virtual. I mean, you can do that from wherever you are. The third step is where it can get tricky. Depending on your marketing strategy will determine how virtual you can be, right? Because if you're cold calling, you have to be in a nice setting, you know, where you can be able to make calls without really any distractions. So you can still be virtual, but you have to be in a, you know, like at home basically. If you're doing SMS, you don't have to be, right? You can be right here in the coffee shop. I'm just sending text messages, right? Because there's the whole system dedicated to that. You don't have to be on the phone. Basically, you don't. And then there's also where you direct mail. Direct mail, completely virtual, right? You basically just send your list to this person or to this company, they process it, they send out the mail, boom. Or if you are beginning and you're trying to save money, which I don't really believe you are saving money like that, you're not. And you want to like send out the mail yourself, that's not virtual. Like you have to be at home, folding the mail, all of that, putting them in the envelopes for you to be able to like actually do it, right? So it depends on your marketing strategy for you to actually be able to, that determines how virtual you can be. And if you're beginning anyways, if you're a beginner, I would recommend, this is gonna be biased, but I would recommend cold calling. You can just get a list of 1,000 people, skip trace it at like 9 cents, which is gonna cost you like what, $90? So you got 1,000 people you can call for $90, and you can be able to just call them one by one if you're even on a straight budget like that, right? And boom, $90, and you're hand dialing, and you're able to have opportunity to make money, which is basically what it is. So I would recommend cold calling or SMS, right? SMS, you probably need a platform, which is gonna cost you a little bit more, but I'm sure they have like cheap platforms where you can be able to actually use, I think, what's one of, I mean, I was using Launch Control. Launch Control is a little bit more on the expensive side. It's like $500 a month. And you need a lot of data to really like make it work. But there's like, I think there's one, REI Reply. That's a good one for SMS, and it's like, it's just, they charge you by the messages that you send, and it's like a pretty low amount, so you don't really have to spend too much. I don't think it's like, you know, that expensive. So any one of those 2, I will recommend for a beginner, right? Once you get a little bit more money, right? Once you have money to invest, if you have $1,000 to invest, I would say go direct mail. Hands down, direct mail. I have tried it all. Direct mail still brings me the best deals, the best sellers, the bigger profit. I'm talking about in terms of just like the sellers are willing to work with you, right? If they responded to your direct mail letter, they're willing to work with you. It's like basically a hot lead. I'm doing a lot of cold calling right now. I'm doing both cold calling and direct mail right now. What I tend to find is that cold calling, you will get a lot of leads, but these might not be motivated leads. They might not be motivated sellers, right? Compared to direct mail, completely motivated, right? They are motivated to sell, and they are also more realistic when it comes to the price. You can do whichever one you want. It just depends on your budget at this point, right? If you're dealing with $1,000 a month, you can do direct mail campaign, no problem. But if you're dealing with like $300 a month, you can do a cold call campaign, right? And so that's gonna be the third step. The fourth step, which is basically you get back to you respond to your leads. That's gonna be very, very virtual because you can be here. I was just making calls just now. I'm at this park, not the park. I'm at this coffee shop, right? Just sitting, just enjoying, you know, nature and shit, and just making calls. Perfect example, right? You can be able to do that from anywhere. Making offers, you can do that from anywhere. Finding the buyers, you can do that from anywhere. All you have to do is just, you know, send the list to your marketing list or post it on, you know, Zillow, Craigslist, all of these other sites, right? And then to even when you close the deal, you don't even have to be there to close the deal. It's amazing. You can be able to close the deal while at home. Just the seller is signing, the buyer is signing, you just getting a check in your bank account or in your mail. For those of you guys who are seriously trying to achieve making money in wholesaling land, I do want to say that it's very possible, and I want to also give you direction for what you can do, right? There's definitely a lot of nuances that you will encounter while you're on this journey, but it's also very important that you realize that no matter what journey you are on, you're always going to encounter nuances that you have to learn from, that you have to overcome, all right? And once you overcome these nuances, you get better. Even if you fail, you get better, you know what to do. Oh, also, man, do not underestimate the power of ChatGPT. I promise you, ChatGPT, even me right now, has been helping me. It's crazy. But anyways, man, I hope this video breaks down exactly how virtual wholesaling land can be. And also, I hope it breaks down the steps that you need to take to achieve the goal, to achieve that goal, to $10,000 a month. I mean, that was my dream goal. And I know that's probably your dream goal too. And so I laid out the steps. If you want a more intimate, more one-on-one mentorship, you know what to do, but you just want that security that you're making sure that you're doing the right thing. Schedule a one-on-one consultation with me. Let's see if we can work well together, man. And let me see if I can help you achieve your goals. I appreciate you for tuning into my channel. It's Kenny the Land Guy, man. Like this video if you enjoy this content, especially this specific style of content. And then subscribe to the channel if you're new and if you want to see more of this. Anyways, time to get back to work.